Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and today we're going to be talking about book things. More specifically, we're going to be talking about the books I may potentially read in June. If you're new here, like I said, hi, my name is Samantha. My toxic trait is that I love curating lists of books and then not reading them. So I did a little bit better with my spring TBR. My wrap up should be coming up like in a couple of days, and you can see I did fairly decent on sticking to my spring TBR, but this is gonna be my June TBR, and these are the books that I'm kind of feeling. These are the books that stood out to me when I went to my TBR cart and pulled a couple down. These are the ones that give me a little bit more of like a Juney summer type vibe. I'm gonna pull them over here real quick, and we are just gonna go ahead and get started. So, All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody and Christine Lynn Herman. I'm late to this train. I think this came out a couple of years ago, but apparently this is like Blood Magic meets the Hunger Games tournament vibes. There's like different family members from like different big important families that come together every century or decade to do a tournament of high magic. So I'm excited to read this book. I think that the sequel came out, oh my gosh, I think like a year ago now. So I need to get on this. It's a shorter book and I know it's like a YA fantasy book. So I'm thinking after I read all of these adult fantasies last month that this might be a nice little fun, dark YA fantasy book. The next book I'm going to read is going to be The Phoenix Empress by Kay Arsenault Rivera. I should probably be a better booktuber and look that up before I start videos, but I didn't. This is the second to a duology. The first book was The Tiger's Daughter, and it follows two female POVs. It is a romance fantasy book. Heavy on the romance. I think a lot of people went into this thinking that it was going to be more fantasy, but it is definitely heavy on the romance. Basically, there's one female POV. She is a princess with magical powers, and there is a second woman POV of this other character, and she is a female warrior. So this is like a very Highlander Asian based fantasy, which was very intriguing, very unique, and I loved the first one. I really did love the first one. It ended off on like a cliffhanger. So I'm excited to pick up the second one and finally finish this duology. Yeah, so that's that. I don't know if there's much more to say about that. It's been about a year since I read the first book, so it's not quite fresh in my mind, but those are like the vibes that I remember from the first book going into the second book, which is always like an issue. The next book, this one's gonna be funny too because I struggled telling you about The Tiger's Daughter, not this one. I cannot be blamed for struggling to tell you about. This is To Paradise by Anya Yanagara. They are the author of A Little Life. So if you haven't heard of that book, I'll just put it up here on the screen. I read it last year during summer. So maybe I didn't realize this, but maybe I'm like paralleling my reads from last year to this summer. I'm gonna try to explain this to you. So this is like alternate versions of America. There is a character who is, they specify a gay Hawaiian American in 1993 in Manhattan during the AIDS epidemic. That's one character. And there's another character that is located in 2093, an alternate version of America that has become has come under like a totalitarian rule. And apparently this is the story of both those people, and they parallel each other in some way or the other. So confusing. But I really just picked this up not because of the synopsis, but because of the author. I'm curious to read other works from them, so this is kind of an experiment. This is kind of my dark horse, my wild card, and we'll see how it goes. Also, I figured that it might be nice to switch up and put a little bit of more contemporary vibes in my summer TBR, because I feel like that is very summery, either like romance or contemporary books. But I'm going to say that, and then I'm going to talk about two fantasies that I'm excited to read. The next is Bloody Rose by Nicholas Eames. This is the author of Kings of the Wild. I'll put that one up there too. This isn't a duology. I think this is centers in the same world, but is a completely different story. This one follows Tan Hashford. She is a bartender, and a group of mercenaries called the Bloody Rose show up in her bar, and she joins them and runs away with them as a bard. and yeah, they embark on like a quest. This was very much like a cover buy. I did not read Kings of Wild. I didn't hear that many great things about it. But I mean, like, look at this cover. I was walking in Barnes and Nobles and I just like walked by this cover and I immediately picked it up and had to read about it. Plus, like, the title is very, like, girls just want to have fun, like Bloody Rose. I'm excited. It seems like a very fun fantasy. From what I understand, Kings of the Wild was the same way. It was just like a very fun, almost cozy fantasy, I think. So I'm excited about this. I'm also always for like woman leaving her not leaving her family, but like leaving a traditional lifestyle to go and have an adventure. Like, that's kind of my vibes. So this is exciting. The other fantasy that I'm going to be reading is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. So this is the finale to the Throne of Glass series. So far, Sarah J. Maas has ripped my heart out every single book in this series, and now it is ending. I am very anxious to get to this. I don't know what to expect. I can never know what to expect in this series. I feel like Sarah J. Maas just throws things at you all the time, and they're heartbreaking and heart-wrenching, and we did not leave off in a good place in the previous book to the series. So I'm excited. It's a chunky girl too. I'm so anxious. If you don't know, Throne of Glass is a series by Sarah J. Maas. It is her YA fantasy series about a female assassin who is hired by the king to do his bidding, and obviously now 8 books in, you know, shenanigans ensued. So I'm very, very, very excited to start reading this. I'm like getting teary-eyed just thinking about it. Oh, all right. I'm a dork, I know. The classic I want to read has shown up on TBRs before, but I still hear really good things about it and I want to read it. I want to read it so bad. And once again, I think like, all right, let me revise what I said before. Romance, contemporary, and classics. That's my vibe for the summer. But this is about a woman who is sent to distant relatives. She finds out that she is part of like a lordship, a very distant relative of this lordship. She shows up, she has an extramarital affair that results in a baby, and in this time frame, I want to say high Victorian society. In Victorian society, that's not great. That's not great. And it kind of follows her devolution, after that event, after that happening. It's a critique on Victorian society. We all love that. So we're gonna get through this. I say through this, but I'm, like I said, very interested in this. I love the olive green of this cover as well. I love the Barnes & Noble's classic editions. Like, I know people are all about the Penguins classics, and that's good for you. They're definitely a vibe. They are definitely beautiful on shelves. But I just love the colors. I love for my bookshelves to look eclectic and like you just walked into a secondhand bookstore. It makes me happy. So we gotta go with more colors. Speaking of which, the most colorful book on my TBR this month is going to be Georgie All Along. This is my book of the month pick from February. I am so behind on my book of the month reads that I have skipped the past 2 months and I still have not read one. So we might be skipping this month as well. This is a romance. So this is I don't know much about this book. I have not read the synopsis. I don't plan on reading the synopsis. I just know that this is a romance. I believe it's like a grumpy sunshine. The female MC is like coming to find herself, and I love this cover as well. It's beautiful. I'm all ready for like the Instagram reels for this summer. Like, it's gonna be a vibe. But that is it. That is actually, I did fairly well. That's 7 books, which isn't too far off from what I normally read. My husband is gone this month at a training event for his job, so I should have a lot of free time to read if my children ever sleep. If you guys don't know, I have like 2 young kids and it's rough some days. I'm about to go take a nap right now, but look, that's it. Those are the beautiful things. As far as other reading plans that I plan on doing, we are going to be doing a discussion on Test to Ubervilles. I don't even know if I told you the title to this book, but Test to Ubervilles by Thomas Hardy. I plan on finishing up the vlog for Kingdom of Ash if I remember to ever give you guys any updates in that vlog. I plan on giving you a classics update on my journey through classics, because I did start the collection of classics probably this time last year, kind of giving you like an update on what I have read, what I have hauled since then. And also, if you haven't noticed, I do have the stack of books right here. I'm planning on doing another video on very specific recommendations, and that would be the anti-war novels that I have on my bookshelf, and I look forward to reading. If any of those sound like videos that you would be interested in watching, make sure you subscribe. Comment down below on some of the books that are on your TBR that you're excited for, and if during the summer, if you are more of like a romance, a contemporary, or a mystery thriller girl, or I say girly, or a classics person. So tell me which one of those you are during the summer, because I know like genres for summer specifically, it's a thing, right? So like I said, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. Bye.